Welcome back. As we try to navigate and digest what's happening in this country, perspective is always so valuable, especially when it comes to leading the state of California and leading the charge against climate change. Now, there aren't many politicians who are still relevant at the age of 82, but Jerry Brown is one of them. The former governor, a former presidential candidate, and former mayor of Oakland, among the many roles and positions he's held over the years. And he's still an active voice, especially when it comes to global warming. We chatted with him from his ranch in Colusa County and asked when was the last time this country was so divided.
I don't think we've ever been in this kind of a turmoil. During the Vietnam War, there were massive demonstrations, there were shootings, it was bad. But somehow this feels like the republic itself is being torn apart by those on the right, those on the progressive side, on the left, and there doesn't seem to be a strong center that's going to hold us together. So I'd say in my lifetime, this is unprecedented.
What's your biggest fear if Donald Trump gets reelected in November?
My biggest fear is that America will get in a war by miscalculation or just the lack of clarity and prudence at the national level. My longer-term fear is that the climate will accelerate in its warming, and California will be burning massively, even worse than it is today, and the flooding and the migrations, the world will become less governable. It's not so governable right now, but if we don't get a climate change and we don't mobilize, it'll get worse.
If Joe Biden wins this election, what's the number one thing on his to-do list, in your opinion, in terms of climate change?
Number one thing to do is bring as much of the country together as you can. Get some Republicans, some business guys, get some Bernie Democrats, get them talking together, get the labor unions, get the environmentalists. We've got to pull together. We can't solve every problem overnight. Get a longer-term plan, but build a consensus. If the center doesn't hold, America is destined for deep trouble.
We've known you for a long time as an optimistic leader. Are you optimistic regardless what happens come November?
No, I'm not going to be pessimistic, but I wouldn't say optimistic. The basis is such that we solve all our other problems, but the future brings new things. So I would say stay ready, not stay on edge, but stay alert. And America cannot take its role in the world for granted, and it can't take its democracy for granted. Our way of life, in many ways, is being modified and is subject to great risk. And the only way forward is for leaders transcending party to mobilize the better angels of our spirit.
Governor Brown, thank you for your time and your insight. Stay safe up there in Colusa County. We appreciate it.
Will do.
That's one of the takeaways there. Work the center of the aisle there. He speaks from experience. If you recall, Jerry Brown was able to work from both sides of the aisle on many issues here in California, most recently on climate change and balancing the budget.